think I did it. That's situated here. Twisting my ass around. Richter's in the house. Yes, sir. Kevin Keller's in the house. Yes, sir. 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 Two sirs. Mrs. Comic in the house. Yes, not sir. See, that's the third time. That's the power of the joke. See, never mind that. Let's see here. This flicking through here. All right. Happy New Year's is in order, but I shouldn't start the show before I start the show, should I? Here we go. Let's move this right here, and away we go. All right, Happy New Year. So nice to see you, even though I can't see you. So nice to have you seeing me, see you. Mrs. Comic in the house here. I was going to stream Tuesday, then I realized it was Tuesday because I didn't know it was Tuesday because the holiday went and fucked everything up. So I wasn't quite ready to do it. Even when I say I'm not ready, I can still do it. I wasn't ready to do it, even though I said I wasn't ready, and I wasn't ready. So now I thought, fuck it, we'll do it tonight. It's the Happy New Year show. There's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, not the least of which is the very last amazing show for me in the Lehigh Valley area. And this year, there's a triangle. There's a 1, 2, 3 pop. There's the day after Christmas Sellersville show. That was such a wonderful night. I can't even stand it. For day after Christmas, really a fun night. And I don't mind saying a nice payday. Hallelujah. And the Emmaus Theater New Year's Eve show was also really packed. Also a nice payday, even though there was a drunken ass yelling out, which it's New Year's Eve. There's only so much you can do. So I didn't go nuts postal on them. And then some people in the audience that I love were kind of hoping I would go postal on them, shut them the fuck up. But also, when you're hammered and you're trying to become part of the show and people yell at you, shut the fuck up, that you kind of sort of want that. So it's a lose-lose situation. So it was really a lot of fun. And then I think let me double check the date here. I believe it's January 12th is next Friday is Arts Quest over at Steel Stacks. That's really a gorgeous venue, and that's where it's over at Bethlehem Steel, and tickets are only $15. It's a kind of a small, intimate venue. Room holds like 200. I typically sell it out, although I usually have to go up against an Eagles playoff game to push me over the cuckoo's nest, and then it sells out anyway. So this year it's not up against the Eagles playoff game. So I hope I can sell it out, not going up against the Eagles playoff game. So here we go. Happy New Year. Bourbon balls to everyone. A toast to the new year. There we go. Well, that's nice. That's a new bourbon I got in there. I can't say the name, Sarah Zarasanak, or whatever. Sounds like I'm liquored up, but that was my first sip of the night. And where do I begin? My bra strap's falling down here. I was to the, I don't know if I can talk about this. I think I can, because there's no paid promotions in these things. So, the Crunk store, I was at the Crunk store over the holidays, and I got something that I've had before, but I didn't know if I'd ever get it again on account of it came from far away. Cheetah piss. Highly recommended. If anybody has a medical marijuana card, I give Cheetah piss the thumbs up. It doesn't taste like cheetah piss. Not that I know, because I never had cheetah piss, so perhaps it does taste like cheetah piss, but it's quite delicious. So if cheetah piss tastes like that, I would be not against sampling a cheetah piss based drink in a country where there's a bar that serves cheetah piss beverages. Hopefully that will never happen. So there's that. And I got to tell you this also, that my New Year's message is the same that it's always been, is that focus on stuff you love and stay away from shit you hate. Seems like so many people get obsessed with stuff they hate, and they wind up in this ball of hell and hate. And if you don't love anything, then you're doing something wrong. If there's not anything that you love, like me, the list is long of the stuff that I love to do, even doing nothing. It's like it's fun to do nothing. When we'll complain about me not being able to do nothing later on, probably. I'm not exactly sure. So, Happy New Year. I do not make New Year's resolutions, and I'll tell you for why. First of all, I always break them. I don't know why I make a resolution that I know I'm going to break, but I do it. And it's basically just one promise you're making to yourself. So if you start every year by making a promise to yourself and breaking it, that's a shitty year you're looking at, because you probably won't try to do that thing again until next year. So that's like, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape here, but hypothetically speaking, if you were trying to lose weight and you said, this is the year I'm going to eat well, I'll lose weight and work out, and then you fuck that up and you go, fuck it, I'll just be fat just the next 12 months and then we'll try again next year. So I don't do New Year's resolutions. And I also had a rant about New Year's Eve. I have, it's cliche, but it's Times Square. New Year's Eve, Times Square. That's where everybody wants to go. And I have Googled. I believe it would suck to be there personally. I believe whatever they show you on TV, that's not what you fucking go through. So I have researched New Year's Eve at Times Square for quite a few years now, and I'll give you some basics here. Is that they if you want to get in a spot that's on TV, you have to get up to New York early in the morning, right? And you have to go. What they have now is uh, they have it blocked off in different sections so that you must enter through a specific section. They're random, and when the section fills up, then you got to go find another section. But the section is polite because they're actually pens. They're like pens, cages, whatever. And so you have to go through that way. That way it splits up. If it's 2 million people, then they have them spread all around like a pizza to come in. So it's just not everybody's picking the same road. So what happens there is then you got to line up in your pen or your cage probably like at noon to not be let out of your cage and into the hot spot until like 3 o'clock. So you start your day with like 5 hours in the pen in this cage or whatever it is. Now let's get to the fun part. There's no alcohol allowed. Times Square, you can't do any public drinking. There's no bathrooms there, and if you leave, you go to the bathroom, you lose your spot, and you can't eat food, but it's whatever you bring. So there's really, it sounds like the shittiest way to have New Year's Eve. I mean, New Year's Eve, even if you don't go out, we tend to have more funner drinks, more funner food, something a little special. And if you're going to a party, sometimes our daughter was forever going to a New Year's Eve party where they had $250 scotch, and I kept hoping she would smuggle me out like a capful of this Johnny Walker Blue, whatever the fuck it is. But these are the things that are part of New Year's Eve. And so if you go to Times Square, you say, let's ring in the new year with no alcohol, and let's stand wedged in like sardines to people that we don't know for 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever it is, and we will have to ration our food. And if you drink little capfuls of water, that sounds like it sounds like punishment more than anything else. And lately, I'm hearing things about from my I'm the worst Googler in the world, but you know if it comes up a couple times, people wear diapers, adult diapers, because they're gonna have to piss and shit, and if they want to drink, so you could be wedged into people that are wearing adult diapers and pissing and shitting them all fucking day long. How's that for fun to bring in the new year? And also, I believe that a lot of those people are not at adult diaper age, and it is their first time wearing adult diapers. And I believe you should do a few practice runs, because if I'm guessing if you piss and shit in your diaper pants in public, there's a weirdness about it that I don't know if you make a weird face or if you just pause from it. or if you could just do it casually, because in the perfect world, you'd want to be able to just me say right now, I'm pissing and shitting my pants right now, but you didn't know because I am that fucking cool. But I don't think they do practice runs. So the awkwardness of that is actually quite nauseating, and I'm imagining people who do that also figure it's foolproof. I have my adult diaper on so I can fucking eat, drink, and be merry, and they probably filled their diaper up by fucking 3 o'clock. What happens there? I don't know, and I don't want to know. But also, I didn't want to be bitter about um, my disdain for possible New Year's Eve at Times Square. So my rock star friend Chris Barron, who lives in New York his whole time, a uh, lifetime New Yorker, I said, do I have just a disdain for this Times Square New Year's Eve? Am I a douchebag, or what? What are your feelings about it? And he texted me back, and I'm scrolling through my text here to see what I've got from Chris Barron, Spin Doctors. I've sent it, and he said, here's exactly what he said. He said, you have to be out of your fucking mind to go to Times Square on New Year's Eve. That's a New Yorker. That's a New Yorker right there. He said, I live in New York City, and I think I'd rather spend New Year's Eve at Rikers Island. That's from a New Yorker. So I feel like I'm validated there. And then he even did a follow up because I said, I'm going to read this to my audience at the New Year's Eve show. Ethan Kramer in the house took some amazing pictures for me. He's one of the few people I will allow to take pictures and stuff. Some incredible pictures. Thank you, Ethan Kramer, for those. I think you're going to be at Arts Quest. Remind me to tell them not to bust your balls if like you film me, because I do fucking incredible stuff he does for me. So that's kind of really appreciated right there. And I'll show you some stuff also. Let's see. Oh, Chris Barron also he followed it up and he said um, he loved that I was going to include him in my show, and he said if you want to come to New York and be absolutely certain you will not come near a single New Yorker, go to Times Square on New Year's Eve. Now, we're going to have one more reference there. His beautiful wife is Lindsay Chambers, I think her name is. Forgive me if I got it wrong. Um, she's of Broadway, and the main reasons that I have disdain for New Year's Eve Times Square is there's no bathrooms and you can't drink. And then he told his wife Lindsay this, and she said, I think I might be Amish. So that's pretty badass right there. Um, so there you have it. Let's see here. Scrolling on through here. Let's see here. And because he doesn't really have a fine appreciation for what I do, my landlord just sent me a text message reminding me that the trash bill for 2024 is due whenever it's due. So thanks for that chiming in right there. So if you want to send any donations along to the trash bill, the donations tonight will probably definitely go right into the trash. Now let's get to Ethan Kramer. Amazing stuff he did for me. What I did is, a lot of people have seen my show a lot of times, so I'm trying to mix things up. I'm always writing, but I talk about the cats that I've saved, and I show on my phone. And I thought, well, it's a movie theater. I should be able to uh, have them use the screen. And so here's what we've got going on here. I have, that's Caesar right there, and that's the fourth slide. It was kind of a fun setup. I was showing the audience cats in my phone, and I mocked myself, say, what kind of dumb motherfucker am I? The cats in my phone, you can't see them, and it's a movie theater, and they got a big screen. I should have got with the theater to put these pictures up. So there's a cutie pie picture of Caesar, and then I put up also the big contraption of Caesar, and then this is him biting it out, and this is the one where I told you he's not afraid of water, and when he comes out of the shower, when I come out of the shower, he stares at me with that kind of biting look on his face, and I'm naked. He doesn't quite know what is a toy and what isn't a toy. And so that was a big hit. So I'd like to incorporate like a multimedia. I should get some sort of slide projector or something to pop these things. I don't know if I'll be able to do it in time for Arts Quest, but that was a lot of fun for me and a lot of fun for the audience too. So I can put all kind of stuff in there. And the other thing, this gets back to Bitey Caesar. With Mrs. Comic and I, we have toys all around this place in case we got to get from point A to point B. Caesar's really come along. He's such a sweetheart now. I feel bad promoting him as this biting Dracula because he's really become a fucking sweetheart. But we are prepared. You can't hardly go 10 feet around here without running into some sort of cat toy, mostly a protection device. And he's just so playful. And so he managed to scare the fuck out of me the other night. If he's not even downstairs, he's upstairs. So it's really fucking cold out. Mrs. Comic and I both don't really like the cold. And Mrs. Comic and I also played Pokemon Go, and it was midnight, and she asked Baboomsa what the temperature was, and it was like fucking 34 degrees, and we were going to go and conquer one of the gyms had turned our color. So I said, fuck it, I'll do it. So we got all wintered up here, and we're going to march out at midnight down the street 10 minutes and take our Pokemon Go creatures and flick them in the gym and conquer the universe and win coins. And when we came back, I fucking just about shit my New Year's Eve adult diapers, because this is what I was greeted with. That scared the motherfucking fucking ass shit fuck out of me. I'm telling you, Richter, I was gonna fucking shit my bourbon balls. I almost fucking screamed, but I didn't. And my trolls in my idea hallway decoded all this. But it's one of those things where if you think something bad happened, that millionth of a second burns and stings for 30, 40 fucking seconds, probably a couple minutes, until you decode the rest and weed all that shit out. And that's pretty much what that is a cat toy for Caesar and Mary that hangs on a floopy, stretchy thing, and you can fling it. You can fling it like a slingshot, like a rubber band. And it's in the doorway here, and it got caught on one of our coats on the way out, and it was there to greet me on the way home. So there you have it. This is a fine example of why it's incredibly difficult for me to just do nothing anymore, because we have Mary downstairs, cries for me all the time because I'm Mr. Sexy. I'm not allowed to sing to Mary. I have Caesar upstairs who doesn't really cry, but he complains. Caesar has this thing going. That means he's fucking complaining. He'll cry a little bit. So I'm getting pulled in between the two worlds of cats. One wants to sit in my lap and purr, and the other one wants to play circus. And so sometimes I just want to fucking do nothing. But that doesn't really work out that well for me too much. So there's that fun, exciting stuff. Grab some fluid here. We, Mrs. Comic and I and our family, we had a really nice Christmas and New Year's. And I hope you folks had nice holidays too, which is hard to explain. Sometimes years are they're usually mostly good, but there's always some weird shit going on. We just had a nice flow and a nice holiday. We got to see family, and we didn't get to see all the family. That kind of sucked a teeny tiny little bit, but overall, it was just a really nice thing. And then going back to New Year's Eve, my New Year's Eve show was at 7:30. It was over by 9:07, and I was home before 10 o'clock. So we don't really have cable, but there's a couple of weird freebie things that we have, and I was trying to find a ball drop for New Year's Eve just to watch it for shits and giggles, and I couldn't fucking find it. And I sort of kind of think that we have a channel sampler that would have shown it to us, but it was to the point where I didn't think of it until 2 minutes of midnight, and then by 12:02 I'm there. fuck it. That's it. We missed it. There you go. So ringing in the new year with that fun, weird shit. Um, I made a few notes here. I didn't make too many notes. I've been really good, really busy. I'm starting. I probably did make a New Year's resolution accidentally. I want to read more. This time of year it gets tough for me to read, so I'm reading more. Starting to read some scary books, and that's always fun stuff. It's hard to sit down and read when you feel like you have shit to do. But I'm a lazy ass, so I get over that relatively quickly. And then oh, I think I know what lit my fuse. Um, Tuesday, why we didn't stream. We were recovering from the holidays, but also I got an AT&T phone plan, and I click in there to pay my bill and all kind of shit. And this is a tired old iPhone 8 Plus that a charging cord doesn't even go in the bottom here that I have to get, and this is a gift from our son Alvin, my tech wizard. You see this thing? It just charges like that. Without that, I could not charge this phone. So, and that's an 8 Plus. So I went in there and I saw they had iPhone 14 and the 15 and the Plus and all this shit, and it said like for $5 a month. So I was all excited, and I was going to get us all new iPhones. Our daughter's on the plan. We're all going to get iPhone 14s or whatever. $5 a month extra. Who knows what it is? So apparently, my phone plan with AT&T, it's one of the first cell phone plans in the history of AT&T. It dates back to when there were dinosaurs and 8-track tapes, and you didn't have to wear seat belts and you could throw garbage out the window. Because my program comes with free HBO Max, and they don't offer it anymore. But it's grandfathered, so as long as I'm alive, as long as I keep this thing going, we will have free HBO. But I am not allowed to buy any phones at a discount, so I would have to buy an iPhone 14 for $700, uh, like you would buy one outright at the Apple store. And I fought with these fuckers all day long, and they kept bouncing me to someone more important. And I've done this kind of shit before. If you find the right person, they can push buttons and make shit happen. Apparently, those days are gone because I actually complained to them that my phone plan is so old and good that it disqualifies me from being able to get a new phone at a discount rate. So AT&T is punishing me for being loyal for 20 some odd years. So the iPhone, we had the Apple phone, the iPhone 3, whatever the fuck it was, flip phones, all this shit. So one after the next one, I told them this. I'd get to the next person, they'd say, can we help you? Yes, I'd like to get this new iPhone 14. It's $5 a month, but my phone plan, I have been told, is too good, and I can't have this deal unless I dump this plan, and then I will lose my HBO because they don't offer that anymore. And so they were all very sympathetic. Go, well, let me have a look at that for you. We'll get you squared away. And then they go, well, we can get you set up with iPhone 14s, but you're going to have to change your phone plan, and that the HBO is not included. They just fucking said back to me what I fucking said to them, and this went on 3-4 different people, and then it fell onto Twitter. And then they kept telling me, oh, I'm the person that can make shit like that happen. And then they look at it and go, oh, nobody can make that happen. In fact, I got one peckerhead on the phone, and they're all excited because apparently nobody. I think I'm the last person on earth to have this fucking deal. And this thing, I'm going to be a vampire. This fucking thing's going to be for like 300 years. This would be in my will. That this phone plan will fucking live on and free HBO will go. Because this guy was certain he could help me out. And then he looked at the plan and he said, wow, that's a really good plan. I would not dump that plan if I were you. Because the HBO is like fucking $20 a month. And that's whatever, fucking $240 a year. That's fucking a lot, man. That's about what the discount is on getting a phone from them. So basically, I have no phone. And so now, if I had another busy season, I would be able to save up $700. I could get an iPhone 14 and just put it on my HBO Max phone plan. That's apparently too good that I'm not entitled to any more discounts. That's the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard of. I don't get a gold watch. I don't say, here, loyal customer, here's a free month, there's a free phone. No, you have too good of a deal, and we are going to get it away from you. Motherfuckers, over the years, they've offered me free iPads, all this kind of free shit to get this. And the more they offer me, the more I know that I'm going to fucking hang on to this thing. So there you have it. Amish, uh, stuck with a tired old iPhone because I have too good of a phone plan, right? And I'm guessing because it's called grandfather. I'm guessing legally they can't fucking take it away from me because they fucking would have. But that's why, and I stopped fighting with them because I thought I don't want to piss anyone off. So I got to be real polite at the end. Oh, thank you for your kind consideration. I'll just wait until I stop watching HBO or phone prices drop because if they could fuck me, they would totally do it. So I don't think. Well, that would be great though too. If they dick me over and we could sue them, that would be better than just getting free HBO. So there's that right there. Bibbity bobbity boo. Let's see here. I remember to do a bunch of things at the Mass Theater. I forgot to do at Sellersville Theater, but Sellersville Theater bottomed out at a 2-hour show, and the Mass Theater show was about an hour and 35 minutes, something. I don't really know. So I'm excited. I think those shows will all happen again next year, but they don't officially book me till that stuff happens. So that's pretty much the excitement of us. Um, oh. The crime drama that I'm going to have a little part in on Apple TV, Sinking Spring, doesn't have an actual release date, but they updated the IMDb Internet Movie Database page for that show, and they're talking about it should come out in the first early part of 2024. That's badass. I won't appear in that show for like 7 or 8 episodes, I think, so I can't really update the IMDb page, but I'm excited. Things are moving there, and when that's a real thing, you can take it to the bank. I will be whoring that thing till the cows come home. Let's see here. That's that's pretty much it. I don't. Let's see.
Same garbage happens to me. Verizon tries, so I just buy a new phone every 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, is that it, Richter? Said you don't get a gold watch or anything, and it wasn't always that way. There were a few years where I'd want a new phone and they just say, "Oh, it's fucking free," and people had to go buy them at the Apple Store, $500, $600, $700. Mine was free because you would say, "All right, I will be a customer for 36 months," and I'm actually not in contract right now for that, so we're clearing the woods. But that's it. So you just got to buy it outright. So I was almost going to threaten them with, well, I'll go talk to Verizon, but I decided I didn't want to piss them off because I really didn't want them to figure out if they could take my HBO away from me. And that's how all the customer service things were. They were trying to be like really sweet. They're like, I understand you really want to watch HBO. No, you don't understand, dick. It has nothing to do with me wanting to watch HBO. I want to get a new fucking phone. I've been a customer for 25 fucking years, and you motherfuckers have eliminated all the phone sales for me. It has fucking nothing to do with me wanting to watch HBO, even though I do. That's you're missing the point here. So apparently, if you have a loyal customer and you've been around too many years, and I basically have too good of a deal. And when I started to complain to people that were going to help me, I opened with that. I'm there. What can we do for you? Apparently, I have too good of a phone plan, and now I'm not entitled to any more discounts, and they're all hell bent. I think there's some kind of reward or free vacation if there is an AT&T employee who can rustle this fucking phone plan away from me. So I'm not going to Verizon. I'm not going anywhere. Um, so there we are. I got my 8 Plus, and I have my uh, charger that sits there until I knock it over or somebody else knocks it over.
Or
That's
ghost
pretty.
knocks it over.
What's that?
Or a ghost knocks it
Or a ghost knocks it. That's right. A ghost knocked my phone off. I have one of these upstairs, and yesterday a ghost knocked it off twice, and also threw a cork at me in the kitchen.
over.
And I don't care if you believe me or not. I know it happened because this thing was laying flat on a disc that's this big, and there's no possible way for it to fly. There was no commotion. Nobody was rolling around, jumping up and down this way and that. The cat didn't fucking do anything. Twice it happened, and the cork, I couldn't see where it came from, but I saw where it landed, and there was nowhere nearby that a cork could have just fallen
No.
onto the floor. So the ghost might get me tonight yet. I don't know. They might knock this thing off. I don't really know what's going to happen there. Let's see here. Bump. All right, there's that. Oh, I know it was fun. I missed it. And this is like kind of cool, but it's also mildly embarrassing. Um, Through the pandemic, I was doing a whole bunch of guest appearances for different radio shows and podcasts and all that. Pre-pandemic, I I hooked up with, it's called Cave Crew Radio. It's actually kind of a really cool idea. There's a guy in Toronto, and there's another guy in Brooklyn, there's another guy in England, and they were like, 3 countries to do Cave Crew Radio. And I've been a guest on there, but I'm a bad guest because I don't let anybody else speak. But they love that because then they don't have to think shit up. So, and then, let's see, however long ago, maybe I might be on this show 5 or 6 years now. I don't know exactly how long it's been, but they just awarded me with a lifetime achievement award. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I dying soon? I don't. How the fuck did I get a lifetime achievement award? So that was actually really cool. And they didn't actually have me on the show when I was getting the lifetime achievement award, which was probably smart on their part because if they had other awards to give with me yapping, they just never would have got their 2 cents in. But remind me to send them a thank you. And they sent me a link to watch it, and I didn't watch it because that's kind of, I know my levels of douchebaggery where I'm not going to sit and watch a podcast of a show where I'm getting a lifetime achievement award and I'm not on the show. Plus, I think maybe we were busy then. I don't know exactly. So there was that. That was all kinds of good fun. Here's some fun stuff. My bra strap keeps going down. Happy New Year again. Bourbon balls here. I have nothing clever to say about that. So our daughter and her partner have discovered VHS movies, old movies and stuff, and so we got a bunch of stuff on eBay, obscure things, and then I like to throw some wild card stuff at them. So they like history of stuff, and so I stumbled upon some Ed Sullivan tapes and some Rowan Martin's Laughing tapes. So I don't even know, they might not ever speak to me again after those. But the Ed Sullivan tape, we watched it. Mrs. Comic and I watched it before we gave it to him because it was open. Absolutely incredible. So Ed Sullivan was a little bit of a dick in a sledgehammer, but she was really awesome. Thank you, Richter.
You have another drink.
I'll have another drink. All right. So, and I'll forget my story. So, Ed Sullivan loved the talent, and he didn't think he was on level enough to even introduce any of his acts. So, Ed Sullivan coined the introduction of, ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles. Ladies and gentlemen, Iggy Pop. He'd just say the thing, and they would be on, and that would be it. And people were screaming and going nuts. And apparently, to get on his show, you'd have to go and meet with him, like in his apartment, and do your show for him and all this crazy shit to get in there. But what was funny was that when the Beatles were on, they uh, oh, not the Beatles. When Elvis Presley was on, he couldn't be photographed from the waist down because they said it was pornographic. Now, I like Elvis Presley, and I watched some of the old movies and the documentary and stuff. His gyrating hips were not sexual at all. In Forrest Gump, the kid has braces on his legs and he's walking with braces. And in Forrest Gump, they make it seem like that's where Elvis Presley got the idea to do that dancing. That's really what it is. It is not. It is not sexual at all. It is. I don't want to use the word retarded, but it is some kind of physical deformity dancing where they're fucking rubber legs or whatever. And but then we got to see Tom Jones on Ed Sullivan, full body, and he's actually fucking something on stage. So show business, I guess, apparently isn't fair. So, but it was really fun watching the old Ed Sullivans, and like I said, everybody was on there. So that's kind of really fun, nostalgic shit. And oh, I know. I'm gonna brag about my Christmas gift. So I'm tough to buy for because, like, when I want something, I just get it. That's not to say that we're all kinds of rich, but like socks or if I want bourbon or what, it's kind of hard. We have a happy life, and so the stuff I want is like really fucking big and ridiculous. But there's a line. There's a line that I'll draw for the amount of money I will spend on an exact thing, depending on what that thing is. What we're talking about here is this goes back to our daughter and her partner got really hooked on driving movies, which we have always been. And our daughter introduced him to that. He didn't have any experience, so he went fucking nuts. And he works up to Mahoning Valley Drive-In, and they have events there. Grady Hendrix is up there. Twin Peaks people were up there. That was a Twin Peaks weekend where I have the event shirt, Mrs. Comic and I, but we didn't go because Caesar was up in the fucking tree crying like season 3 of Twin Peaks. Ooh, ooh. And we didn't go. We just have the commemorative shirt. Now, since they go, and that's a thing that they really love to do, they splurged on the most incredible. They're lawn chairs, but they're like rocking chairs, and they're pretty fucking badass. And I have lusted after these far and near, and they're just a little bit out of what I would consider what I should pay, considering everything else with cats and career stuff and all that. So they got us. Mrs. Comic and I got the drive-in movie rocking chair thrones, and we're really excited to reclaim the drive-in because I am not going to miss another fucking David Lynch weekend with my deluxe rocking chair drive-in movie chair to save a fucking cat that's up in the tree. No fucking way. So Caesar's up there right now. I did it. We did it. So we're excited about that. I got some good liquor. We got some really good food. I did need some socks. I love socks. That's kind of dumb, but I also love good shoes. And so I change my socks a lot so I don't stink up my shoes. Well, I have a bunch of socks that don't fucking fit anymore for reasons I couldn't tell you. I don't know if my foot got fat or I don't really know what happened. So I just got a metric fuck ton of amazing socks. I love candles, and our daughter made candles this year. So I got this. That's a Hershey mug candle. I'm loving that. Well, she was making these. Something went wrong, and Mrs. Comic was over there helping her, and I was reading Scary Story to Hank, the cat. And then when I heard what went wrong, I Googled it, and there's actually a thing called candle sinkholes. So they was getting sinkholes in the candles, and I didn't help them fix it, but I Googled how they could fix it without me. So that candle's badass right there, and I got some slippers. You don't understand. I spent my whole life without things that normal people have, like slippers. I only just discovered now. I only just discovered scarves make it so a mediocre winter coat is actually really fucking warm. I only discovered scarves like 5 years ago, and so I'm just discovering this kind of shit now. So you got a nice sweater. That's another thing when you're cold in the house a little bit. Put on a nice sweater. So I got all this really cool shit. I'm only just discovering some of the comforts of life now. So absolutely incredible. And Let's see. There's some people in here. I don't recognize everyone. Let's see. There's a Yale is a bourbon addict. We don't call it addict
Well, she likes.
unless you add heroin.
She said, "Where do you get good bourbon around here?" She goes to New Jersey to get good bourbon.
Oh, that's a good question. There's Pennsylvania liquor stores are kind of weird in that they have ones that suck and ones that are kind of pretty good. Down Route 309 from Allentown in the TJ Maxx shopping center area there, and there's a whatever it is down on the left. I think that's Crossroads, whatever it is. The liquor store in there is one of the Primo stores. They get stuff a lot, and the other one out by Costco is like a level B one. They get more than is normal, but as far as that goes, I don't know when you go to New Jersey. We've done the run, which is kind of funny because I've been around here forever. And Jersey drinking age used to be like 18, and they used to go to Jersey to get liquor. And then Bourbon Street Liquors in Phillipsburg is they have just about everything under the sun. So there's that. And also, if you go south, 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 way down south, 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 right when you hit Delaware, I think it's called Wine Outlet. Metric fuck ton of stuff, but it's a hall. That's exactly what it is. It's a hall. So, um, let's see here. Right next to New York City, there's something. I don't know. That's pretty far. Although, if I can just Richter, I love you, but if I can just leave Pennsylvania and go 2 miles in to Phillipsburg and get the liquor, then I'm fucking going home. So that's fun stuff there. Um, I thought I had more fun, interesting stories to tell. Let's see here. Let's have my notes from New Year's Eve, shit that I forgot to talk about. Let's see. Mrs. Comic, what else has been going on around here? Mostly cats. That's pretty much it. Oh, that was fun too. So, our inner circle of family and friends, they're cat people. So, everybody's getting cats gifts. So it's really kind of fun. Uh, Caesar and Mary got little cat stockings as gifts. And Mrs. Comic shared with the family one of the greatest things that cats like laser pointers, and they're $5 and they suck, and there's a little light on them, and that's it. Somehow, accidentally, I found a really fucking ass kicking uh, cat laser. It's USB charged, so that saves you a bunch of money there. The settings on this thing are absolutely incredible. Let's see if I can put it on myself. There's a whole bunch of red settings. There's a point. There's a mouse on there. You can't see this shit. And there's also a blacklight setting. And there's also what our daughter calls, it looks like Hank got arrested setting. So we gave a couple of these. They're like two for $10, and cats that are old and do nothing are just fucking running around tearing up uh, the world right now. So that's a lot of fun. And our Christmas was that. Our Christmas was a lot of people getting extremely thoughtful things for people. And our daughter Jyoti, she got a birthday present and a Christmas present. Not this is for birthday and Christmas, but we just didn't see her. She actually asked for because they have cats, a puzzle mat, and it's really fucking big. It's like a giant TV screen. I didn't know how big it was. So, but you open this thing up, and then you work the puzzle there, and then when you want to go to bed, you just close in the flaps so the cats can't fucking get it. So she asked for all. I don't like puzzles. I'll say it right now. Mrs. Comic's family has always loved puzzles. It's a family thing. They sit around and it's a whole project. If they're visiting for a week, then they're doing the puzzles for a week. To me, a puzzle is pointless. You have a picture and it's solid on the box. It's done. It's fine. There it is. Fucking rip that apart and try to put it back together. Doesn't make any fucking sense to me at all. And Mrs. Comic's mother, who I love, she's the star of many of my stories, Joyce, used to dick with me because she knew I hated fucking puzzles, and she'd hand me a random piece, not even a fucking corner. The corners are much easier. And she'd go, "Oh, you know where this one is." And I didn't have the heart to tell her that I didn't. She knew that'd keep me busy for 4 fucking hours. So Jyoti said she would like all the puzzles that. Puzzles are one of those things where when you get them, especially when I get them, they'll just go on the shelf and I'll never use it. So she asked to be regifted all the puzzles that we would like to regift. And I said, we have a whole bunch of puzzles that are open, but here's the problem with regifting them. We tried to make a whole bunch of them. And shout out to Sparky, our little cockatiel angel flying around this show somewhere. Sparky loved to land on the puzzle. The table was right there, and the cage she'd pop down. But what Sparky liked to do was take the puzzle pieces and flick them. She just fucking throw them. She'd pick them over the beak and just fucking flick them. And if there was 1,000 pieces there, she would throw 1,000 pieces if you left her. And some she would chew. So I told Jyoti, I'm a lazy ass, so when Sparky threw puzzle pieces, it's not like I ran to get them. I just fucking laughed about it. So I said, you can have some of these regifted puzzles, but when you get down to that exciting part when there's only 2 or 3 pieces left and you just go and you finish it and then you fucking click and then you have bourbon balls and then you might not get that because you'll be out of pieces and the thing will be done. And she said, bring it on. That sounds like fun. So we have to remember to get Jyoti the re-gifted puzzles, or Sparky possibly threw the final few pieces on the floor here somewhere or wherever the hell they are. I don't really know. So it's been that kind of fun holiday for us. It's just been absolutely incredible. I know there must be more fun stuff, but I don't know what it is at the moment. I'm off this weekend. That's why I'm streaming tonight. I'm gonna take Saturday off. Typically, I would have had the Arts Quest show this weekend, but depending how it lands on the calendar, I didn't like this weekend, so I picked the next one. I'm supposed to have snow all weekend, so woohoo! I think I dodged a bullet there, and then it's Arts Quest next weekend, and my schedule is kind of really fucking weird. January is usually Kerpow, and then I'm Selins Grove VFW the last Saturday. Thank you, Gail. Um, Typically, the last Saturday is Selins Grove VFW, and that's way the hell out, about 3 hours away, where you can head towards State College, and then you go up along the river, and a teeny little mini Statue of Liberty is there, and there's a Sheets where there's Amish in there all the time, but you never see a buggy. It's such a weird strip. It's like Sheets with Amish that don't come in buggies, and a couple of massage parlors and strip clubs, and that's fucking it. So that's a show I'll be doing. And then February, I'm all over the place, but not around here. And I have a whole bunch of dates open in March, but I'm trying to fill those up. And I'm window shopping for a venue in State College. As you recall, last year I hooked up with the Bull Barn Theater. I love small theaters, and this was kind of amazing. Since it was one of the first shows I'd be running myself out there, I wanted a small venue, 120 seats, sold it out. The day of the show, they sent me a thing. Send an email out to your ticket holders to dress warm because the heat is limited. And I said, what does that mean? The heat is limited. What does that mean? The heat is limited. Does that mean there's no fucking heat? What does that actually fucking mean? So I'm looking for a new venue out there, and it turns out the heat that they had was basically space heaters. Beautiful little theater. Nice, really beautiful performance space, but it was really fucking cold. And I only bring Mrs. Comic along to some of the nicer places, and I decided to bring her along to the Bull Barn Theater in Bullsburg. That quiet, my alarm just went off. That had no heat. So when they told me that the limited heat was basically this, they took space heaters and they set them all around. Now, this is the performance space, and there's seats here and there and there. And the dumb motherfuckers had the heat pointed at me. What the fuck do I want heat for? You point the heat at the fucking audience. So they had blankets. I don't know how the theater had blankets.
They handed out
Everybody
blankets to
had
the
blankets. They
audience.
handed out blankets. And then it turns out also they didn't have a sound system. And I said, I asked if you had a sound system. Okay. And you said, yes, we had a sound system. And they said, yes, we used that sound system to play the music before you performed. Well, I meant a sound system for me. So apparently they didn't have a sound system for me, which wasn't that bad because it was an acoustically nice theater. But again, so now it's an Amish theater. Basically, it's fucking cold. There's no heat except pointed at me, and we couldn't move them because they're space heaters and they're really fucking hot. And there's no sound system. And as we pulled into this gorgeous old theater on a dirt road, Mrs. Comic said, well, I hope they at least have bathrooms. Yuck, yuck. That was the LOL scenario. They did not have fucking bathrooms. There was fucking bathrooms down at the main office, which wasn't that close of a walk on a dirt road in the dark that wasn't fucking lit. And they had like porta potties or bushes or the fucking men to piss in. So Mrs. Comic had to go to the bathroom, and she stayed in the green room because apparently there were more blankets there. So she went down this road to go to the bathroom in the cold fucking dark, and the people were really nice. Make no mistake about that. And I was actually fucking awesome. I was an ambassador of goodwill. I didn't fucking complain about any of this shit there because it wasn't going to solve anything. So they really loved me attacking all these problems this way and that. But Mrs. Comic sent me a text message that she would wait for me in the car because the show was over now. I start the car up and got the heater fucking going. When I got out to the car, Mrs. Comic told me the most awesome and horrible story in the history of all her coming along to shows. She walked down this dirt road looking for the bathroom. She wasn't the only one. Somebody from the theater was either trying to help her or somebody else had to go. I don't really know for sure. But then a dog, possibly a German Shepherd, unleashed, was coming at Mrs. Comic in the dark on the dirt road looking for the indoor plumbing and barking and going fucking nuts. She would be in terror, rightly so, and that dog wasn't on the fucking leash. So somehow a ghost lady appeared in a gown in the fucking cold in the woods. She had a fucking ghost gown on, which made it even more frightening because who would fucking run around in the fucking cold in the dead of night on a fucking dirt road with a dog barking that's not on a leash? A fucking ghost. How do you know it's a fucking ghost? When they have on a fucking robe. They don't have fucking coats and hats and all that shit. They just appear in a fucking robe. That's how they are in the fucking movies. There's a ghost. Aren't you fucking cold? I'm a ghost. I don't give a fuck. And the ghost said to Mrs. Comic, she said, oh, when that happens again, just open this car door that was sitting in the dark, and the dog got in the back of the fucking car. And she said it like it was nothing. And I'm thinking, this lady, this ghost, believed this would happen again. It's not going to fucking happen again. We're not going back there this year when it's fucking cold. And she almost made it seem like the ghost, once she talked to Mrs. Comic, like this was a known thing. Like everybody knows when the unleashed attack dog of a ghost is coming at you in a dirt road in a fucking cold Bollesburg College. You just Bollesburg Theater. You just find a car door and open it because car doors are all fucking open. That nobody fucking locks their doors out there, and the dog will go in. Everybody fucking knows that, Mrs. Comic. We should actually go back. We should go back this year. I should book it in the cold so we could test that theory. So I'm definitely looking for venues in State College. In fact, I got a bite. There's a fire company that would like to do a show with me, and I told them March. It's a busy season now, March, and I didn't even tell you this, Mrs. Comic. They want me, but the guy that I'm in contact with, he agrees with me on March, but they always have a meeting. They would rather have me in April when it's harder to sell tickets, because in March, every other Friday, they do a fish fry. And they were concerned that my show would overload the fish fry people. I have to not go fucking nuts when I hear shit like this. That I, I'm, I'm kind of full of myself when I perform. My audience loves me. I love what I do. I really do. But sometimes I feel like I have to just say I'm funnier than a fucking fish fry, and I should get treated with more respect than a fucking fish fry. But I don't. I don't. I just sit here and go okay, and I humor them. All right, the fish fry. So there's that, and then at that show, that was actually kind of really amazing because people came out and it was BYOB. It was really a fun show. I mean, I try for all my shows to be at the top of my game. If shit happens, then it might not happen. That show was at the top of my game. A group of like four couples had seen me quite a few years ago at the State College Comedy Club, and they had pictures in their phones with me, and it's always a guy. It's always a guy. They had told me already that they'd seen my show at State College Wisecrackers, and that they had pictures in it, and they wanted to get another picture, upgrade the picture. And so I already knew that. But there's always a drunken guy, and he has his phone, and he wants to show me, and he can't find it. I'm there. I love you. I appreciate it, but I know what's happening here. You are looking in your phone to find a picture of me in your phone with you. And I don't really need to see a picture of me in your phone because it's really fucking cold. And if we could just take a new picture and we'll see that one. And then they were all laughing and mocking him. And so I didn't have to see that. And then he showed up. I had another show about 30 miles away from there, like 2 weeks later, or actually 1 week later. And they all came to that show, and he had the picture ready so that when I showed up, he came running out before I even came to the place to show me the picture of me and him in his phone from way back when and the new updated one. Why am I telling you this? I don't know. This is the life. This is the celebrity life that I lead. So that's it.
I think you said it's okay. I've already seen myself.
That's right. I don't really need to see myself. I do know how I look, and actually, if it was from like however many years ago, I probably look worse now. So I don't want to be reminded how much better I looked 10 fucking years ago. So there's that. So in fact, I have to try to remember that show where. Oh, you weren't at that one. Maybe you were. No, I don't think you're at that one. There was another one. Mrs. Comic came and she live streamed it from the car, and so she didn't come into where it was. It was actually in like a almost like a farmer's market.
Yeah.
That's that neighborhood. I gotta remember what that was and track them down and see if they want to do it again.
Yeah.
So this could possibly help me book a gig. So thank you, everyone, for staring at me and making me remember shit that possibly could help me out here. Uh, I don't have anything else too much more exciting to say. Now I went and fucked up the streaming live Tuesdays to make Tuesdays suck less by streaming Friday because Tuesday seems too soon. That's your cue, Richter, to say no. Tuesday isn't too soon. Why don't you just keep drinking, Raymond, and just keep streaming right up until we get to Tuesday? That's an interesting idea. I don't think I'm going to do that. I want to get definitely back to book, writing a book, writing a book, writing a book. I haven't done it, but the priority for me is to make money and write for live performance and get back into a rhythm. So now things seem kind of a little bit calm and nice, and so I'm going to try to focus more energy there, and that's pretty much it.
We'll be shoveling snow this weekend.
We're supposed to snow this weekend, so I could have dodged a bullet there. Um, so if you do go out, don't drive like a lunatic, and that's pretty much it. I wish I had something more clever to say. there's no big send off here. Let me see if there's any words of wisdom in my notes here. Let's see here.
Victor said, "Keep drinking."
Keep drinking. All right, that's everybody. I'll just keep trying to um, stall the end of this thing as best as I can. Let me go through some of my notes or my notebook. It's shit that I either forgot to do or I only did it here. And then you go, we already fucking heard that. I know you did, but I didn't. Never made it to the stage, and I put it in here. And there's another thing that's funny. My phone's dinging off the hook here because in the holidays you're getting these text strings, and we send cat pictures and all that shit. And so when anybody likes a cat picture, and sometimes it's Mrs. Comic, it dings in my phone, but I don't really care. It's just sitting there dinging away. So I opened the notebook to a random page. November 29th, I thought it would be funny to mock breast enlargements because I don't know why any sane woman would want to make her breasts larger. The breasts are asshole magnets. If you had breast reduction surgery, that would make a hell of a lot more sense to me. And if I had big knockers, I'd have them removed and I'd have tattoos on there, and I'd put an old hillbilly on the porch tattoo with a shotgun and the sign that says, "Stay the hell off my property." It's kind of a weird thing, too, because especially if you like work out and you're at a gym and all of a sudden you were a flat chested lady and now all of a sudden you're 38 double D. You did that so people would notice your new whatever you would want to call it. But what's the protocol? What's the politeness there to say, oh, your new breast are really fucking awesome. That was a hell of an investment. Or you just pretend like it didn't really happen. But there was some whispering going on. This one lady over there, flat chested, and then she got to 38 double D's. The women whisper. So I said, what the fuck's up with her? Nobody really knows. Same with the hairpiece. Like if you're bald, then you have hair. Are we allowed to notice that, or is the protocol to say nothing? You really look good these days, or what the fuck? I don't know what the protocol is. So when you're gonna do the hair piece or the breast enlargement, somebody should tell us what the Miss Manners protocol is on either complimenting, hey, nice new tits. I think you could have gotten away with 36 D or C, but 38 double D's. Just be a little careful when you run and play tennis. Oh, there was part of this that Mrs. Comic pointed out is that I didn't. This is why I love having an intelligent woman. So if you have flat chest, now you have 38 double D's. That is material that could get cold and freeze. So you could have knockers hanging on you that actually are now fucking cold because it's not your body. It's not your body temperature. And so I think women were complaining that their knockers this time of year would come in from the outside and it had like two fucking ice cube snowballs on their chest, and that's really fucking weird. And then people, I'm just get gross and everything, but then there's leaking and all that kind of shit, as would be a case with if you froze an ice cube and then it thawed out and then you froze it again, there would be some fucking leakage. So I'm just saying, uh, I, I, I probably would say don't get a breast enlargement, but if you but I don't want to be your doctor either. So if you believe that's the thing you have to do, don't let me stop you. But also, you have been warned about what shit could go wrong. They could leak, they could freeze into snowballs, and that could be a whole nother thing there. Uh, see, this is why I should have ended my show. Richter, you motherfucker, I love you, but this is the kind of shit you heckle me into.
He said, talk about Twin Peaks season 3.
Twin Peaks season 3 actually morphed into my show a teeny tiny little bit because there's a weird fucking thing going on in the lodge, and they have to hear where it is, and when they hear it and they go to it, it's not there anymore. And then they go over there, and then ooh, and it's coming from there. It's coming from. That is exactly what fucking Caesar did to us when he was up in a tree. That motherfucker, he was up there for 4 days at least, and we went out in the night, and I put the food out for him because we thought a thunderstorm scared him, whatever the fuck it is. And then I started hearing him cry. I knew it was him. And with Mrs. Comic and I, for this whole night, from whatever this was like Wednesday in fucking
August.
in August. It was hot September, and we'd go to where we hear it. Then we'd be quiet. Then we'd hear it, and the wind was blowing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So that fucking freaked me out. So even though we didn't make it to the David Lynch drive-in, we had the David Lynch commemorative drive-in T-shirts, and we did get the David Lynch experience with the cat at the Black Lodge going. So that's the other thing too. Richter, I actually am ready to watch Twin Peaks season 3 again, and there's a I actually don't like the finale of it because I understand David Lynch, and it's kind of like Twilight Zone. When you go watch Twilight Zones. Rod Serling didn't give a fuck about happy endings. And that's what TV is. There's a problem, then they power through the problem, then it gets solved at the end. Twilight Zone, there's a problem, and it gets worse, and it gets worse, and then it ends fucking worse. That's kind of like what happened for me watching the finale of Twin Peaks season 3. I don't expect there to be a storybook Hallmark greeting card channel ending, but it was a little over the thing. But the whole fucking season 3 is absolutely phenomenal. Um, Kyle MacLachlan got fucking robbed from. He got boxed out of the awards show. He didn't even get nominated. Kyle MacLachlan, Agent Cooper, plays like fucking 3, 4 different Agent Coopers in fucking Twin Peaks season 3. He's Agent Cooper that we know. He's evil Cooper. That's all fucking really scary as all fuck. And then he's also Dougie Jones, like a half made up thing, who's kind of like an idiot savant. And then just that Dougie Jones morphs. It tippy toes his way back to like a normal person. It's absolutely fucking phenomenal. And we around here picked up on some lingo. If you watch those shows, Richter, if you watch that again, we absolutely love when he goes to the casino and he watches shit and he watches a guy put the coin in and he pulls it and then the guy wins and he goes, hello. And Dougie Jones, that's Cooper at the time, Dougie Jones, somehow there's a little gnome from the Black Lodge who hovers over these machines and they're gonna hit. And he just follows this and he puts the coins in and he pulls the thing and he goes, hello, and the fucking money comes pouring out. It comes fucking pouring out. He wins like $438,000 fucking dollars at the casinos. Now the mob guys in the casino are losing their fucking minds. They want to beat the fuck out of the guy who runs the casino. They think he's in on it, and it's absolutely incredible. So we do the hello when we need some good luck. Um, Even when that reminds me of a story that has nothing to do with this, Richter. But thank you. Um, as I go through the stories of my book, I am going way back in the early parts of my career where I did not headline, and I got put on shows with some really good headliners. I did have an agent who dicked me over. Well, that's another thing. People who know me from those days ask me, "Hey, how's your agent?" Well, he dicked me over. I don't really know how he is, but he actually put me on the show with really good people. I was at a college. I told this story before, but I don't care because it's related to the hello in my brain. And it was a big fucking biker guy, really funny biker comedy, and then he flips it and becomes a real soft pussycat. That's his thing. And he had a opening act that he brought, and they were sticklers about not letting him on the show because he wasn't booked. It was me and the biker guy, and they were giving me fucking attitude. Like, I didn't meet these people, and I don't respond well to being antagonized and people fucking get in my fucking head. So the college was dry. I don't have a drop of liquor before a show anymore, but back in those days, I'd have me a nice Coors Light to just take the edge off. So I'd take a cooler along. I had a Coors Light in my burlap bag, and I was saving it. I didn't even open it yet. So they, him, the biker, and his opening act, who'd already given me attitude, started to piss and moan about the college being dry. So I thought, well, they weren't very nice to me, so I'm little assholish, so payback's a bitch, so here it comes. So I went down to a soda machine, and when they weren't looking, but they were in the hall and they could see me, I took my Coors Light out of my burlap bag and I put it in where the Coca Cola would come out, and I put in not enough money so it wouldn't send the Coca Cola down, and I hit the Diet Coke button on purpose, and I went, holy fuck! A Coors Light came out of the Diet Coke, and and then I tried to keep a straight face, so I picked it up and I walked down the hall, and then I went in the bathroom and I opened up my Coors Light and I chugged it, and I was trying not to giggle, and then I came walking back out. The opening act had like 75 Diet Cokes and he was trying all the fucking sodas. This dumb motherfucker bought like 85 fucking sodas to try to find where the beer was. That'll teach them to treat me like fucking shit when it's my show. You don't fuck with me, I'll build a barn around you with no doors. I'm gonna end this show on that. I love you. Mrs. Comic loves you. We thank you so much for being here. You guys rock. And I'll probably stream Tuesday because we'll get back to the rhythm of, and then I'll say the same shit that I said tonight. And then Richard, you can tip me again, then I'll drink more, and then we'll just keep that going. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to leave you with this. That's pretty badass right there. So be safe, don't be a dick, and here we go, ending stream. See